Hello, I'm Dragoș, and in this video we're going to take a look of how you can install Traefik and secure your applications and route the traffic that you are receiving to your applications via an SSL certificate with the help of Traefik. So if you don't know, Traefik, it's a web server built specially for Docker that will help you route the traffic that you are receiving directly to your Docker containers securely and easy as possible. This is working also with Kubernetes. So Traefik, it's a web server built specially for Docker that will help you secure your applications with routing the traffic via SSL certificate and a domain. And in this video we're going to go and see all the things that you need to do on your server, from building it and to setting up and have traffic up and running and routing the traffic through it. We're going to configure an Wildcard SSL certificate. Basically, a Wildcard SSL certificate is a certificate that you can add to various subdomains that you may have. And in the previous video, I've shown you how you can set this up without any wildcard certificate. In this video, we're going to use the wildcard certificate because you may have like a lot of subdomains or applications, and you may want to use a wildcard certificate for your application to not request a certificate every time when you want to secure your application or you want to add a new application. This will make things easier if you have a lot of endpoints to your applications, because you don't need to juggle around with a lot of certificates. In here I have an article that I already created and will show you exactly what we're going to do to have this set up. So the first thing that we're going to need is a VPS server or a home lab server that you have, and configure it with Docker and everything, and install Traefik on it so it can work. So my preferred choice for this is Hasner. Again, you can use DigitalOcean or any other providers, but Hasner, it has decent prices and very good performance, so that's why I am working with them. I'm using them, I'm not working with them. In here I will just add a server, and in here you have some data centers that you can choose from. You can choose the data center that is near to your users, basically. And I will let the default one. In here I will choose Ubuntu because we are going to install this on the latest version of Ubuntu. I will choose a shared CPU in here, and I will choose the smallest shape for this demonstration. It will not be any problem. For the networking, I will let everything like this. I will use IPv4 and V6. You can disable IPv6, for instance, if you're not using this. I will choose an SSH key because I want to connect to my server securely through the help of an SSH key. And in here I have a firewall also created that it's allowing only the SSH and 80 and 443 access, because we need the 80 because we are going to also redirect the traffic that is not coming to HTTPS directly to HTTPS. And in here I will just provide it a name, and in here I will just put and I will hit create, and right now this will start spinning up a server. It should take like a minute or two. And the next thing that we are going to do before all of this is to go and have our DNS set up to the server IPs. So in here I will use Cloudflare for this, and basically when you will need to request an wildcard certificate, Traefik has some providers, and it has a lot of providers in here that you can configure. But for this video we're going to use Cloudflare and see how you can set up the API connections basically. If you want to choose others, the process will be similar. The only difference is that you need to go in their interface and link up their API with Traefik and choose the correct name. For this, you have it in here, you see the names. So you have a big list with providers that you may use with this DNS, because basically what it happens when you want to authenticate your domain, you will need to let Traefik to add a record in your DNS and tell Let's Encrypt that your domain, it's actually yours. So let's go and do that. In here I have a website that it's configured for this. So in here for this website I have an A record that is pointing to my server, and then I have a CNAME with a wildcard that is pointing to the A record. So you can do it like this, or yeah, you can point everything directly. You can even add different levels in here, but for this purpose I will just do it like this, and I will point my A record to the new server. I will not proxy this through Cloudflare. You can do that after you are requesting the certificate if you want to proxy your applications through them. So right now the DNS is set up, it's having the wildcard in it, and it's having the domain pointing to my new server. The next thing it will be to go and connect to this server and see exactly what we need to do in there. So basically the first thing it will be to configure the servers. So the server, we will add some swap, it will install Docker. For this we'll update the OS, so basically these are the commands, you just need to run them. This is not complicated, so let me copy this and connect in there. And in here I will just do SSH-C with the key root, and then we put the server IP. And right now we're on the server. You may want to disable the root access directly to extra secure this and use a different users to log in and add it to sudo, but this is up to you. In here we're just going to go and install everything. So next let's go and add the swap. So what this command will do, it will add the 4 GB swap file to our server, because right now we don't have any swap that is added to this server. If we're going to check with top, for instance, you'll see here that you will not have any swap. You have 4 GB of memory only. So some applications may need swap, so that's why it's good practice to add also swap. In case you don't have any free RAM, it will go in here. So right now you see that you have the 4 GB of swap also added. Okay, let's update, let's install Docker and update everything. Next, so let's install Docker. Basically this is working for Ubuntu. You can just copy this command and run, and they will just go and install Docker for you. And Docker Compose. So this will take about 1 minute to finish. Okay, so right now the Docker installed finish. So if you run docker -v, you'll see that Docker is installed and it's up and running. Let's update everything. So I will run sudo apt update, sudo apt upgrade, and then reboot. Okay, right now the server is rebooting. We're gonna wait for a couple of seconds, and then we're going to connect back, and we're going to create the folders where we will have the Traefik Docker Compose file with all the details and the secrets, and then we're going to go and check the Traefik configurations. Let me log in again right now, so to see. So right now I'm logged into the Traefik server, and the next thing that we're going to do is to go and create some folders. I will make a directory in here called stacks. And then go to stacks. I will make a directory in here for the Traefik. Basically in here we'll have everything. And okay, right now I have the directory created. I will log into this Traefik directory, and the next thing that we're going to do is to set the Docker Compose file. So let me explain you the Docker Compose file. So in here I have the Docker Compose file that is created. So for this, we're also going to use secrets. So in here you'll see that we're going to use the Cloudflare token and the Cloudflare email, and these are stored in secrets. You can alternatively store this into variables if you want, but the difference is that secrets will not be available in the Docker container. So if someone is breaking into your Docker container, it will not have access to read these files. So yeah, this makes the things more secure. And then you have the Traefik service. This is using the Traefik 3.1, which is the latest version. Right now it will start if this is not stopped. And in here you have, for instance, you have the commands that we're going to configure. So in here I have the provider set, which is true. In here I have commented some log levels if you need something for debugging with the log location. And in here you see that I have also the API dashboard that will be enabled. So basically this will also install the Traefik dashboard, so you can go in there and check some of the things. And the other thing that we're going to see is this will not use Traefik for all the containers by default. We need to tell it to use it. And then we have the Let's Encrypt certificate resolvers in here. So in here you have the DNS challenge that we are going to use. We have the providers. I've put some resolvers. I have set also some delays in here for this. And in here you have the email that you want to use for your Let's Encrypt. And in my case, I will use my email. And in here you have the storage for the certificate. And in here I have also commented in case something goes wrong, you want to use in the beginning the staging server, because the production Let's Encrypt, if you're doing a lot of requests, it will block you, and that's why first it will be good to test all of these changes. But in this case I will not do that because this was already tested by me and I didn't see any problems, so everything should go smoothly. So in here you see that you have the endpoints with 80, and in here you have the redirects that will redirect the HTTP endpoint to the HTTP one, and you have the 443. And then I have also some TLS configurations in here that will set it to true. In here you have the resolver that it's Let's Encrypt, and in here you have for the wildcard certificate the endpoint with the domain, and in here you have the sans that it's actually the wildcard. So in here we're gonna need to put our domain, and it will be, then we'll need to add our wildcard. So in my case I want all the things that are coming under BitDose to have a certificate. We have some security ops with no privilege. We'll add this to a network. It will be called Traefik.net. We have the ports that are exposed. We have the secrets added in here with the details, the token and the email. Then we have some environment details that are set in here. We have a Traefik dashboard password that will be stored into an environment variable. And here we have the Cloudflare, the token file from the secrets. We have the environment file that will be loaded. And in here we have some volumes, and the volumes are Let's Encrypt for the certificate and logs if you want, and you need to add the varan docker.sock so it can read all the Docker containers. And in here you have some labels. These labels are set up for the Traefik dashboard, and in here again I will put my host, and it will be in my case Traefik BitDose link. It will use the HTTPS, it will have the API internal for this, and it will use some middleware, and in this case this is the basic authentication, so we can set a username and password, and I added all of these things to a network. This is big, the Docker Compose files that we are going to create, and let me create this file for you. I will insert everything in here. So right now I have the Docker Compose file, and let's go and see the next thing that we're going to set up. Also in here you'll have all the details explained. Also in here you have some, basically instead of using commands you can use the YAML file to make all of this configuration. I've set the details in here if you want to use that instead of command. Okay, and the next thing that we are going to do is to go and get the API details from Cloudflare and create our secret files. And let me go and log in into the Cloudflare, and here I will go and create the API details, and here you have my profile, and in here you have the API tokens, and in here I have an API token already created that I was using, but I will create a new one in here, and we are going to use a custom token, and in here you'll just put a name, Traefik, and in here you have the account with the details. So first I will choose zone in here, and then it will be zone, and this will have the read, then zone, it will be DNS edit. So this will allow Traefik to go in here and add the TXT record for authenticating your wildcard domain. And in here for the zone resources, I don't want to provide access to all the zones because I'm just using this for one domain, and I will choose the specific one. And in here I will just use the BitDose link. And in here you can even protect this better, because you can only allow your server to have access in here, and we'll add our IP. So you will have the operator is in, and we'll put our IP from Hasnar. So this is the public IP that the server has, and we'll put it in here. And for this, I'll put it like this, and how long this will be available, I will not set anything. It will be available for as long it's created. Continue to the summary. So you see that everything was added in here. I will create the token, and right now I'll just go and copy this token. So we are going to create the files and use it. Let me put it in here under this. Okay, so right now we have the token. Let's create these secret files, and let's go to the server. And in here in the Traefik, we'll go and create another secrets. directory that will store the secrets. And in here, if we're going to check the compose file, I have two files, Cloudflare token and the Cloudflare email. Let me go and create this. And in here I will paste the secret that I have generated. I will hit insert like this. I'll save this. The other one, let's go and create the Cloudflare email. It was with email. Again, I'll put my emails in here that I'm using for Cloudflare. Like this. I'll save this. So right now I have the secret files created. I will go back into the root. And if you're checking right now in here, you will see that you have the compose file and the secrets. The next thing that we're going to do is to go and create the Traefik network. So Docker network create Traefik-net. To create the network, I will just go and copy this. Right now the Traefik network is created. We're going to create an environment file where we'll store the password that we're going to use for accessing the Traefik dashboard. And in here, to be able to create a password, you can install this package on your server, and we can go and do that. So I will install the Apache utils that will have the htpassud, and we're going to create a password, a user and password for this, and let me install it. Yes. So right now we're going to copy this command and we're going to run it on the server. Let me copy this and we're going to put it in here. So you see in here that I have this command. So basically this will just print out the user and the password. Basically in here you need to add your users. In my case it will be Bidose. And in here, for instance, you can go and add a password for your access. Now I will do this, so I will use the same thing. Right now let's create this, and what I am going to do, I will go and run this on the server, and this provided us the user and the password that it hashed, and we are going to add it and create it in the, let me save it, and then we are going to go and create our env file. And let me copy the name of this. So it was like this. Okay. So right now I will create the .env file. vi.env. You can use whatever code editor or Linux editor you want. And in here I've set this. You see that you have double $sign because like this it's escaping this. So in case you have problems when you are generating the password in other way, you need to be sure if you have $signs to put another one for this to work properly. So I have created the env file for this. Okay, secrets are already created. Point the domain, it's already pointing. And what we're going to do right now is to go and start this, because right now we should have everything configured in there. And let's go and do that. So right now it will pull the Docker image, and right now this should be up. To check the logs to see if you have any errors, Docker logs Traefik. You don't see any errors in here, which is a good thing, because in case there have been problems you'll have seen in here. And right now you have some commands if you want to check if it's up and running, if you want to connect to it directly. And yeah, right now we should have this working. We should be able to access our dashboard. Let's see. Okay, and right now let's open a new incognito window to see in there if everything is working. I will access the dashboard, and the dashboard can be accessed with traefik.bidose.link. And in here I put my username and password. Let me go and copy that. And in here I have the Bidose user with this password that was set. And right now you see that we have the access. And in here, if we are going to check, you'll see that certificate is valid. It's using Let's Encrypt. It was generated just now. And everything is up and running right now without problems. You can see the details in here if you want. You have access to the dashboard and so on. And right now everything is up and running, and the next thing that you want to do is to add your applications in there. So for this purpose, I will just add Dockge. I've created already this video in the past with Dockge. Basically, this is an portainer alternative that will help you manage easier your Docker Compose files. So I will create a different folder for this. I will not put it in stack. And let me do just that. Clear. I will go in. I will make the directory. I will go in here. I will make a Docker Compose file. Okay, I'll prepare the insert, and in here let's check and see what we're going to use in this Docker Compose file. I have it in here, so basically what we're going to do, it will have the same, it will have the services with the Dockge image, it will restart if it's not stopped. You'll have some volumes in here to check the stacks, and here to have access to the containers. And in here we have the environment variable with stacks. This is for their documentation. And in here I added this container to the network that I've created, Traefik.net, and in here I have some labels. The labels are Traefik.enable equals to truth. It will tell to use the Traefik for this container. In here I will set the domain for this, and in here I will set the subdomain with dockge.link. And in here I have the routes, and it will use the HTTPS. And in here I will not expose any port. I will just tell to use this port with 5001. I've created also this service, which is the Dockge. I added everything to a network. And right now I will just go and paste all of these details in there. Okay, let me remove the I from the beginning. And right now we have everything set up, and the next thing that we're going to do is to run Docker Compose up -d, and this will pull up the containers and will add the subdomain. It will use the same certificate in there, so it will make use of the wildcard. So right now Docker PS, you see that we have the two ones that are up, and if we're going to use the command in here, you'll see that you have the SSL certificate, connection is secure. Okay, certificate is valid. It was generated a while back when I ran this command. And yeah, everything is up and running and working okay. And on these servers, you can go then create a username for this Dockge. Okay. Then here you see that you have the Traefik one, and you can go and manage your Docker Compose files from here. You can change some of the things and restart if you want. And then you can add other Compose files if you want with the stack names and everything. You can go and add the details for Traefik directly in here. You can choose the network and environment variables, choose some of the things that you want to change for this. For instance, in here, you see that you have some options to add directly with an UI. You can add external URLs for your applications. So yeah, basically this is a nice tool to have and help you with Docker Compose files. So yeah, this was the video. In this way you are using Traefik with an wildcard certificate. I hope you enjoyed the video, and in case you like what we have seen, don't forget to subscribe and like.